Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you wanna talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the South. It's Gerard, Hatfield, and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready for you better not miss. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker B. Check this out.
I'm just so fresh, so clean. Good morning, Baton Rouge. Here we are again.
Yes, indeed.
Today is a beautiful, beautiful Saturday, September the 26th, 2015, and we are live and in effect for another edition of the Louisiana All American Sports Show. Good morning. This is Eric Hatfield.
And I'm Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker P.
And Coach Perry Daniels will be joining us any second now. He's hammering out some technical difficulties live from the technical issues live from the nation's capital, but we have a great day of sports today.
Yes.
A lot of high school action going on.
Yes.
A lot going on. The gridiron action going on actually as we speak. Mm-hmm. It's another Saturday and it's another day to talk some football.
Yes, indeed.
Here on the Louisiana All American Sports Show. Joker, how's it going in your neck of the woods today?
Oh man, it's a wonderful day. I just loving the weather that we have out here, and hey, the games have started already, even though we started at 11 o'clock. LSU is playing and Southern is playing, so we're going to talk about that. Man, we had the game of the week last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. You was there. I mean, you tell me what you saw, man. From Scotlandville, it looks pretty impressive.
The Scotlandville Hornets there's something special brewing in North Baton Rouge. You look at what the history of this program, and there's not a lot of history. That's kind of what makes it interesting. This is a team that is heavily known as a school that's heavily known as a basketball school in the athletic community. A great tradition. They're in the finals every single year, in the top 28 every year. They've won. I'm losing count of the number of championships they've won in recent years under Coach Sample, but they have. That football program last year made it to the playoffs. They won a playoff game for the first time since the 1960s. Then they brought in Coach Valdez, who just dominated District 6-1A at West St. John, and is just a really smart coach with his strategy. You can see the wheels in his head spinning, how everything is a chess match with Coach Valdez. And I'll tell you, Scotlandville is now 4-0, and they haven't done it the easy way. They beat McKinley, which is a rival. They clobbered McKinley, and that game in the past, I know Joker isn't trying to hear that, but that game's always been very close. Sometimes come down to the last play of the game. We've covered that game in the past on LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. That game was a blow. It was never competitive. They destroyed St. Aug, who was an institution in New Orleans, and went to Mississippi and beat an out-of-state team. Now they played East Ascension, who is in that District 5-5A, a very tough team. Who they played last night. It was a very close game. They're 4-0, and they're beating tough teams, and this could be the start of something special with that program starting to come around talent-wise, and now with Coach Valdez there bringing some of his skills and his experience to the table. Scotlandville could be something special, and they have a quarterback named Levi Lewis who is just growing before our eyes, it seems like every single week. He continues to impress me for how smart he is and how much he thinks. He's a student. He's, I guess, what you call a student of the game, if you will. You hear that expression a lot. And when you speak to him, it's just, you can tell this kid's head is screwed on well. He's thinking, and he's thinking about things that are bigger than him and the team and the big picture. So the Scotlandville Hornets, I know I'm probably going to botch this. I believe they're in District 4-5A, but I don't have it in front of me. But they're going to be very tough in that district, and they're going to be a force in the playoffs. And they're already thinking, when I talked to some of the coaches and players before the game last night, they're talking about how East Ascension is going to be a real litmus test for the kind of teams that they might experience in the playoffs. They're already thinking playoffs, you know. And obviously they have a district schedule first, but this team might have something going because East Ascension ain't no punk.
Right.
They're a little bit down from what one of the beat writers was telling me, but I mean, you could see last night they're a quality football team and they're well coached and they play good ball.
Yeah, man, and great call last night, Eric. Eric called the game last night. Louisiana All American Sports game of the week between East Ascension Spartans and the Scotlandville, man. And I've said from the first game after we covered the game between Scotlandville and McKinley, we had Coach Valdez on the show before, man, and what a smart guy, what a great coach he is. I thought after seeing that first game, I said, man, I think Scotlandville is better than what I thought. I think Scotlandville is better than what a lot of people thought, being that this is his first year coaching there, and every game they're looking better. They're getting more experience. Levi Lewis is doing an absolutely great job at managing the game, also making big plays. And man, and I said this, I told him this when he was here. I told him I think that they can make some noise in the playoffs. They just keep their head on. Last night they were probably 4-0. They were probably 4-0. And so, you okay? Yeah, they were like 4-0.
They were 4-0 going into last night's game, and Coach, if you can hear us calling again. But they were 4-0. East Ascension came in, I thought, probably a little bit underdog, of course, with a 1-2 record coming in was against undefeated Scotlandville. But I thought Scotlandville, Valdez did a great job of keeping these guys not with the big head, not being too overconfident, because East Ascension came in kind of fast. They scored first, and so Scotlandville was able to maintain, get back into the groove, and eventually was able to take the lead and win the game. It was interesting to watch, too, Joker, because these are clearly two teams that like to throw the football. That like to throw the ball. I don't know if we can't hear the ringer or not, but they like to throw the ball. And they were you could tell the defense was so tight and solid in the secondary. These were teams that were relegated to, at the end of the day, having to run the ball. So I was really impressed with the defense. I was impressed with the fundamentals. But I'll tell you, Levi Lewis really was the difference maker in the game. He just he had it together. His head was screwed on right. He made good reads, quick reads. And we should have Coach Valdez joining us and Coach Perry Daniels joining us momentarily. Coach, can you hear us? Do we have you back on the line?
Yes, we do.
All right, awesome. We got to get the bell on that phone. It's an old school telephone we have here to call in. We got to get the bell fixed on that thing. We couldn't hear you. Anyway, Coach. So look.
Yeah, got your back now.
And look, this is completely off topic, but this is breaking news. Tommy Green, that name ring a bell?
Yeah.
Southern University passed away last night. I didn't know this. Completely off topic, but I saw this flash across the computer, so I guess we'll tuck that away for the Southern discussion. But that's shocking and well, anyway, Coach. But yeah, so we got Coach Perry Daniels on the line. We're talking about Scotlandville and the ascent, no pun intended, the ascension of that Scotlandville program, and their game against East Ascension and how they're 4-0. They've done it the hard way. And Coach Valdez could have them on a ride for something really special there. Coach? Earth to Coach.
Did we lose him?
I hope we didn't. I think we lost Coach Perry. Maybe he might be calling Coach Valdez.
Well, also you talked about Tommy Green. Of course, that was very disappointing news, man, and very sad news. We saw that earlier. Me and Perry talked about that. We was going to get into that and give him remembrance and other things.
There he is.
Are you there?
We got him.
I'm here.
All right, Coach.
Go ahead and go into Coach Green's bio because that's part of the high school narrative in Baton Rouge as well. While I reach out to Coach Valdez.
All right.
Tommy Green, Coach, passed away at the age of 59. Coach Green was well loved and well known here. In the Baton Rouge area, of course, he was actually a 1978 cum laude SU graduate. He was graduated from McKinley. He was a standout 4-year starter at McKinley, standout basketball player in the early 70s, and was going to be well remembered, man. And even Coach Banks at Southern, he even brought him into the game. He ended up getting drafted into the NBA in the second round by the New Orleans Jazz. So he even played for the New Orleans NBA team, which I thought was really cool. And he, after he got out of the NBA, he came and coached high school here in the local area. He coached West Louisiana from 1981 to 83. He coached Lehigh from 1983 to 85. And he also coached Capital from 85 to 86. And he coached McKinley, too, if I'm not mistaken. And so we just wanted to give our rest in peace and rest in paradise to Tommy Green.
Oh, he'll be missed. He was a pillar of the community. I was shocked. I just found this out moments ago. I didn't catch the earlier discussion you all had, but even, I knew that name pretty much from the time I became part of, living in Baton Rouge. Is a guy I heard about a lot, and I know he made a difference. And since we started covering a lot of McKinley games, I really heard his name a lot. So I know he loomed large for a lot of people here, and it's 59, man. In this day and age, that's too young to be going. But
right.
Sure, I know he's in a better place, but he will be missed. Tommy Green, dead at 59. So,
all right, fellas. You all were talking about the Scotlandville East Ascension game last night, and we have the head coach of the Scotlandville Hornets, Coach Robert Valdez, is joining us here on the Louisiana All American Sports Show.
Okay.
Good morning, Coach Valdez.
Coach.
Good morning, guys.
All right.
How you doing?
All right. Wonderful. How about you, Coach? How's things going?
Oh, man, as always, sunshine and bright out the wind, so I'm good. I'm real good.
Usually is. Coach, that was a great game last night between two teams that were really slugging it out. Could you, I guess for the audience listening this morning that might not have caught everything last night, break it down. What happened in your eyes, in your view?
Well, I think that we've been flying high. We had three big games that we've had and put a lot of points on the board, and I was just very glad that we were able to play. Basically have somebody come out and basically they came out. They punched in the mouth early. They were very physical, and they've always been a well-coached football team. And I'm just glad that our kids was able to answer the call and fight adversity and continue to keep the poise that we preach and play hard, and we came out with the win. So, really playoff atmosphere last night between two good programs, and they played a real tough non-district schedule. The three losses they had is to Dennis Springs, to Zachary and ourselves. So it's this is a battle-tested team.
Oh, yes, Coach, man, fabulous job. And you alluded to exactly what I noticed last night, which was that this team came out. This is exactly what you needed, I think, for going forward, is to have a grinded-out type of game, scoring a lot of points in the first three games, going out of state and out of town and beating other teams on the road, I think. And plus, now you have a grounded-out game. Did you have any problem? I thought flying high and getting all the praise and everybody's praying Scotlandville and getting the praise, sometimes you could come in with being a little bit too overconfident. And a team that's coming in maybe 1-2 that used to have it's used to having a winning season and coming in a little bit down, came right in, like you said, and punched you guys in the mouth. So I'm glad. I know you're glad that your team was able to withstand that. And did that concern you about having your team being overconfident or having an ego type problem?
Well, yeah, it did. I think that because we're still handling success, and we're still in the process of handling success. And we talk about being able to to respect our opponents. So I think that coming into the game, and a lot of times the kids may not be as familiar with the opponent, because they're from Gonzales and not in the local Baton Rouge area. But it happens. It happens to the best of them. It happens to the pros and colleges, and, where, you get teams that are doing so well that they kind of get a little bit overconfident and all that. But I really think that, the good thing about it was that we were able to basically, the mark of I guess a champion would be is how you withstand the barrage, when it comes your way.
Right.
And can you overcome and persevere and be able to still get on top and do what you need to do. And we looked at our leaders, and I think that Levi Lewis last night, man, he probably had one of the best games I've seen a young man ever at any position, and he really offensively, carried us on his back, and then defense, we were able to, bend but don't break, and make the plays when we needed to make the plays, and like I told the kids, a win is a win. We made some mistakes, and we are able to correct those mistakes, but the effort was there.
Absolutely. Coach, I'm glad you mentioned that about Levi Lewis. Just a phenomenal young man. And we've mentioned the last time that you were on the show, I think we had let you go, though, that you've also coached the current Southern University quarterback, Austin Howard, the quarterback prior to that, Dre Joseph, all came under your programs. How does Levi Lewis compare to those other two individuals?
But he's a better athlete. He has a cannon of an arm. He's not Dre probably was the biggest physically one of all because he was a bigger kid, and was so strong. Dre had the body of a linebacker, and what's helped Austin is he plays so savvy. He has the moxie of a real quarterback. Levi's a junior, and but his athleticism is phenomenal, and his arm strength is unbelievable for his size. And then you couple that with the competitive nature that he has, and guys, I will be the first. I got lucky to have all three of these guys. I don't know. I think God likes me. but really, the philosophy of our offensive scheme is to build everything around the quarterback and let him be a field general. And that's how I approach the game. I want my quarterbacks to be field generals. I want my quarterbacks to take control of the game. And, East Central last night had a great game plan where they really weren't allowing us to get vertical on them. And they did a good job of pinching the line of scrimmage and forcing everything outside where they kind of set and kept everything in front of them. And then when it comes down to throwing the ball and passing the ball, it created lanes. And then, I made a comment, to the coach. I said, he goes doing that Superman stuff again. And he does things that, we don't drill. I don't think we have spinning drills. I don't think we have breakdown and shake people drills. I don't know if I can create those drills, but he really has taken ownership of the offense, and he's really, enjoying himself, within the elements of what we're trying to do, and he's just he made some spectacular plays last night.
Yeah, I think last night on the WHYR Game of the Week, Louisiana All American Sports broadcast, Eric Hatfield referred to him as Houdini.
Yeah, he made some. I mean, Coach, but I did, and you said something in the post game interview that I thought really kind of raised the little flag in my ear. Those Houdini acts, it's not just a matter, at least from what you were telling me and what Levi was telling me and what I saw, it's not just a matter of him being a gifted athlete, although he is. You mentioned Levi spends a lot of time watching film, and Levi also mentioned preparation and watching film, and also his teammates picking him up. It's not like an accident, like he's just shaking and baking. It's like a piece of him intuitively knows the percentages. If he fakes this way or dots that way, he has a chance to escape, and that's what I saw. Could you discuss how smart this kid is? I think we talk about it all the time.
We, like I said, Chris Peters is my offense coordinator, has been with me for a long time, came with me from West St. John, and, we're kind of like oil and water. I'm an offensive line guy, love to pound the ball, and Coach Peters, likes to open it up and throw the ball and these things. But, we do a good job with our players and preparing them and, testing them. They have to turn in a test every Friday morning from film study, and Levi puts in probably more, time watching film. We're still an honor student, maintaining great grades, which is most important. But he really, we tell the kids all the time, play the game before the game. Play the game visually before the game, and be able to make sure that you see your reads, be able to make sure that you understand where the defense is going to line up, what they're trying to take away. And so, yeah, it does. I mean, and he has so much confidence because he's put in so much previous work that by the time he gets to the game, it's almost like he senses it, he feels it, where they're going to be and, how they're going to be responding, where his lanes are going to be at, which is tremendous credit to him. And like I said, Coach Peters and he on Thursdays, they basically sit down and, discuss, something that I saw on the documentary with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, the head coach and the offensive staff sit with the quarterback and get a feel of what they like. What are some things that they feel more comfortable with, and and I think that when you try to contain our speed, it just creates lanes, and I think that he was able to identify where they were.
Yeah, Coach. When we had Levi here in the studio, after you beat McKinley, and I'm from McKinley, but I'm gonna let that one go. But no, but when we had Levi Lewis in here, I asked him, who do he idolize and who does he looks up to? Like in the NFL, first person he said was Michael Vick. He said he used to look up to him. That describes the athleticism that you're describing, that I see in him, and of course being a southpaw. Then he came and said, but nowadays he likes Russell Wilson, and I thought those are two of the perfect people that describe him, because Russell Wilson doesn't make turnovers. He's a good game manager, but he also has the arm and the athleticism as Michael Vick.
And he knows how to survive,
this
too.
This guy is a lot better. He is small, but his football IQ on the field, and now the competitiveness is coming out, and from what I'm seeing. And so, this guy, he can make it just like any of these other guys can make it.
Yeah. Right, and I think that when you look at Levi, and the Russell Wilson is a great comparison. He hadn't spoken that with me, but it's just keeping plays alive, and I think that that's one of the things that he's so adept at, and and I think that it's when you talk about high school kids, you got to consider the factors of he knows that the lineman may be upfield, so he pulls it. He knows that if he does a certain move or does some things, that my linemen are still behind the line of scrimmage where I can throw it. And so those things come through, just instincts, repetition, practice, and studying. So he's been really a student of the game and studying, the game. And, I think that, the fact that our receivers, our other kids, compliment him so well, because they also, we have been able to adapt to his athletic ability and finding lanes and giving him room, and be able to create spacing so that he can get the ball to him when he does starts doing the Houdini Superman stuff, But,
right. But I think your system also. I think your system also allows him to flourish. The difference with your spread offense than how Scotlandville was last year with Mr. Randall coaching. So I think it's a combination of two things that that gives him the confidence. So kudos to you, man, and good luck to you going forward.
Thank you. I learned a lot from Perry. Perry, that's. Oh, come on now, Coach. Come on now, Coach.
Perry's blushing.
I do have a few more questions. Let's talk about some of those linemen, man. We got to always give a shout out to those guys. Mention some of those guys.
I love them. I mean, we have three seniors. We have three seniors. Torellis is my starting center. Torellis Harris, and then Manzi Williams is my starting right guard. And then DeQuayna Lewis is my starting left guard, and Brian Thomas is my starting left tackle, and Roderick Thomas is my starting right tackle. And they really, they really are the ones that have really bought in, because we try to go fast, but everything is concepts. Everything is concepts. So they really have to sit down and study and learn, and because we maintain, Coach Beauchamp, my defense coordinator and defense, we maintain our defensive identity as in the past. So we basically, I didn't want to change that. I didn't want to make full scale substitution and have create chaos a little bit. But I knew offensively with the talent level that we had, I wanted to put my own spin offensively and what we do, but. It won't be successful. It wouldn't have been successful without the offensive lineman in front. And these guys, I mean, they don't get any rest because we don't huddle. So they've gotten in shape by now, and they're doing a real good job because we really want to be balanced. We strive for balance, and we talk about that all the time. We want to be able to run the ball just as well as we want to be able to throw the ball, and we we like to have our balance, and we have to control the line of scrimmage. And I think that, like I said, he essentially did a great job last night with a lot of stunts, a lot of tension, a lot of twisting, a lot of things to give linemen confusion and all that. And we were able to handle it well. And, just like I said, I told him afterwards, I said, it wasn't pretty, but, I'll take a not pretty and be 4-0 than a great effort 0-4, but they really, I'm very, very proud of them. I'm super excited for them, and they're typical big boys. They're like, Coach, when are we going to go eat? I'm like, hold on, just give me a second. I need
Coach,
take them men to
you
eat,
would be
man. Get
very
them
proud.
Golden Corral or something.
You would be very proud of your quarterback, Coach. When I interviewed him last night, and by the way, Levi Lewis was the player of the game again. But he mentioned his line. He said my linemen picked me up. They really helped carry me, and he mentioned them by name, just like you did. So if your kids are listening, hey, Levi knows where his bread is buttered. So just interesting how the coach and the player mirror one another so much.
Yes. I mean, and I'm gonna get to that next question. But the one thing that I see with this group of guys is that they really do care and have the best interest in each other. And that's a very important element in any successful, anything that's successful that involves dealing with people and teamwork. And my kids at Scotlandville, all across the board, all the defense, everybody, there's a genuine trust, and respect amongst one another, and those things, like I said, in the tough ball game like that, when you're kind of fighting against a tough opponent, is what carry you through.
Absolutely. What's next for the Hornets?
Next, we take the show on the road. We go to Washington. We go to North Louisiana and try to see if we can spread the wealth at Washington. We'll play Washington Parish next Friday.
That's right. Yeah, that's what Monroe.
Was that?
When does district play open?
Oh, we're trying not to talk too much about that until it happens, but we start district the week after with Zachary.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's going to be a big one. Oh, yeah.
Right out the
All
gate.
right.
So
Yes, indeed.
We
Okay.
have,
So, look, go ahead.
like I said, we have this week, make sure that we prepared and have all our attention on Washington. But, like I tell the kids all the time, and I know that the buzz is, we know what the buzz is about, that one. But, we really want to take it one game at a time, and we really want to, just try to, as best as we can, stay focused without looking ahead, But, you can talk to me that week, and we'll be ready.
Okay, absolutely. I know you will be. All right, I've got a political question, and then I need to let you go. But we have to talk a little bit about that principalship up there and that situation. Who's the current principal there now?
Right now, the interim principal is Mr. John McCann. He used to be the principal at Woodlawn High School.
Okay.
And he was working at central office, and he's basically at the school, to oversee the operations right now.
Okay, so the gentleman that hired you is no longer there at the school on site, and that's former McKinley High graduate Dr. Calvin Nichols. And most of our listening audience is familiar with that situation there. Has that impacted you at all, Coach?
Well, I think that, what I tell our players is that, in times of a little bit confusion, in times of maybe chaos, you have to be able to come together and create some type of stability in order for us to be able to have some positiveness with our schools. So I think that right now our football program is providing, the stability, is providing the positive news, and we're the beacon of light right now for the community of Scotland and for our school. And, I think that it's very unfortunate because, one of the main reasons that I did come to Scotlandville High School was because of Dr. Calvin Nichols and the relationship that we people have had. And, barring the outcome of whatever happens, he's a man that I have great respect for, and I will always continue to be, a friend of and have tremendous admiration for. So our calling now for our coaches and our players is to be able to basically, like I said, serve as a beacon of light for our school and for our community, and of course our program, because we represent, a small factor of the good things that's going on at Scotlandville. Like to a lot of people, it's easy to focus on the negative aspects of what's going on, but, we have a lot of great things. We have tremendous academic programs with our engineering department. We have a magnet component, that's very, very solid. I have so much trust in what's going on there that my own daughter goes to Scotlandville High. And, that's when you measure how much you trust in the situation when you put your children in the middle of it. I think that, of course, like everybody else, we have our normal problems. And we have, our everyday situations that occur everywhere. But I think that is the blessing that we have with our football program, and our young men understand that, right now we have to be the positive face of our school, and I think that they're doing that well. And the fact that the game was televised last night, was on radio last night, it helps in order to be able to display to the public, the good things that we have at Scotlandville High.
Absolutely. Well said. We're going to leave it right there. Hey, man, every time you come on the show, I greatly appreciate you. And I can't wait to stop by and visit with you in person there at Scotlandville High. And good luck to you and your team.
Just bring some lunch, just bring some lunch. Don't come empty-handed. Don't come empty-handed. Come bearing gifts.
Already know.
I'm trying to stay away from the blue store, man. So bring
You better stay away from the blue store.
Man, appreciate talking to you guys, man. I really do. You guys do a great job, and thank you, man. I really do, man.
Thank you, Coach. Much appreciated.
Good luck to you, brother.
That was Coach Robert Valdez of the Scotlandville Hornets, and I actually just got a text a minute ago. For those maybe not living in Baton Rouge, not knowing what's going on, there was an incident in which there was a fight at Scotlandville, and it was caught on video, and the principal, Dr. Nichols, was trying to break it up, and it was getting a little protracted. And he pulled out the Board of Education and gave one of the kids a little tap on the backside. No more, no less. I'm not underplaying it. It was on the news, and he had been suspended. They had attempted to terminate him. He's appealing it. Me personally, I would like to give the man a gold medal, because that's exactly what you do. Other kids could be in danger, and he could have gotten himself hurt trying to break it up, but that's just my personal opinion. But that's where the controversy is coming from with Scotlandville, and I personally, speaking for myself, I'm hoping for the best for Dr. Nichols. I don't think he did anything wrong, and I think he protected his students. That's just my opinion.
And Eric, I think there's no better testimony to his vision and leadership than to end a long-term relationship with a very popular coach there. And the former coach, you said his name, Joker.
Randall, Coach Randall?
Yeah.
Eric Randall?
Coach Randall. Eric Randall was a decent coach, and it was very popular in the community.
Right.
But to bring in Coach Valdez and to see where this program is going and where they're headed shows the courage, the intestinal fortitude that Dr. Nichols has, and his vision. So for this to be interrupted like this, based on some teacher with a video camera, and I just think it's unjust for it to go down this way. And I hope that calmer heads prevail on the school board, and that now that we've had some time to step back from this situation and let the emotion die down, that there's a better decision made.
I could not have said it any better than you just did, Coach. I agree with everything you just said. So let's, before we go to our music break, want to just catch everyone up real quick. There were a lot of games in Louisiana last night, so we'll just not really quick talk about some of the ones in the Baton Rouge metro area. Albany stomped Crescent City Christian 54-34. 3-8 last night. Amit defeated, I always pronounce this wrong, Laranja, 28-21. Ascension Episcopal 49, Hanson Memorial 12. Baton Rouge Catholic defeated St. Thomas More 35-17. Baton Rouge Episcopal over East Feliciana. That was interesting. 34-26. Scrolling down, we also had We had Denham Springs. This was interesting. The McKinley Panthers lost last night to Denham Springs 38-27. What I think is remarkable about that, as we talk about a lot of McKinley, is that McKinley, Scotlandville, for example, blew them away. McKinley didn't get blown away in this game, and Denham Springs is a tough team in 5A. So I thought it was interesting that score was reasonably close, an 11-point game, and also that McKinley put 27 points up in that game. So maybe that could be a sign of things to come.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll
Homecoming coming up. So
yeah, we'll hold our breath on that one. Also in the Baton Rouge metro area, we had Kentwood 35, West St. John 22. We had Live Oak 47, St. Michael the Archangel 7 in a game that was never very competitive. Livonia 44, Northside 7. Madison Prep hammered Capital 43-0. And let's see, we had.
Let me just say that Coach Duncan did not call me this past week.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's one of those ones you just kind of want to slip away and turn the lights off, pull down the shades, and quietly wait till next week. Parkview Baptist defeated Baker very handily, 49-21. Looks like the Shrine on Airlines just going to keep on cranking. Point Capiz Central 35, Varnado 14. Port Allen, and by the way, we will be visiting Port Allen next week on the Louisiana All American Sports Game of the Week here on 96.9 FM WHYR, streaming at WHYR.org, as the University High Cubs will travel across the river to face the Port Allen Pelicans, and we'll get to see what Coach Mitchell's rolling out for the first time this year. Port Allen defeated Glen Oaks handily, district rival, unless they shuffled it up, but they defeated Glen Oaks 28-7 last night. So we're going to see the Pelicans and see what Coach Mitchell is building over there across the river. Scotlandville, of course, defeated East Ascension 28-20. Santa Ma over Woodlawn 34-14. And that might wrap up our scores in Baton Rouge. I got one more down here. We've got to get that Zachary game in there. Come on. Scroll. Oh, U-High defeated West Feliciana 47-32 in what evolved into a shootout. U-High was pulling away at first, and it got very competitive towards the end. Walker thrashed Broadmoor 52-0 in a game that was over with at halftime. White Castle over Bel Air 32-14.
LA's first loss. Yeah.
And did Zachary play on Thursday night? Because I'm not following.
Yeah, Zachary played. Zachary, I think, lost.
Really?
They did lose.
They lost.
Then I must have glossed over.
They lost because I was watching it last night. Actually, it was winning at first.
Television.
And that game, and they lost.
So Lindsey Scott, and where is the Zachary score? Does anybody have a score on that? I'm trying to locate it.
Yeah, let me pull it up for you.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Calvary Baptist 35, Zachary 21. That is shocking.
Yeah.
That is shocking. I was looking the way the Advocate listed the winner score first. I scrolled all the way down to the Z's. I just assumed they won. That's a beatdown. It's shocking anyway. So wow. Okay, so we're going to turn the reins over to Joker P. Joker.
Well, this song's really.
Joker, based on time, let's play maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. But hey, this song is pretty much self-explanatory. It's going to be based in ATL. Southern goes up to play Georgia, which we're going to come right out of this and talk about this. And this song represents how I think this game is going to turn out. It's from older Caucasian, not an older Caucasian, but
older school,
old school, back in the day, not back in the day, but Caucasian rapper, Bubba Sparks. Check it out.
Break a bottle. Let's be honest, none of us will never date a model. So let's just cut it loose. Ignore the repercussions.
Let's be honest, none of us will ever date a model, boy. Boy, Timberland had that mind. Timberland had that Midas touch, boy.
Yeah.
Boy,
Don't get ugly. Bubba Sparks, man. You know, they talk about Eminem, they talk about Macklemore and all that, but Bubba Sparks, man, is one of the first Caucasian rappers that really had a little impact, that really got love. You
His
know what
15 minutes was solid.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
His
His 15
ATL at that.
Yep,
First
he was
white rapper from the ATL.
that I know of. Yeah, he had skills. He was good, man. I liked him. I enjoyed him a lot.
Caucasian, dirty South rap. I put like that. First one.
That's a good way to put it,
You know
bro.
what I mean?
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Bubba has skills. But don't forget about the Beastie Boys now. When you talk about-
Yeah. Well, I'm saying dirty South.
those are the
I gotta-
original suburban
you
poets,
go
you know?
Everlast. You can go even before the Beastie Boys with well, not before the Beastie Boys, but
Search till third base.
yeah, third base and MC
Oh, yeah,
Search.
yeah.
Personally, I'm still. So,
Okay, so the reason for that song was the Southern University Jaguars are playing in Athens, Georgia today, and they are playing the Bulldogs, and that is our way of saying what we feel the results are going to be up there in Athens today. It's going to get pretty ugly.
Hey, so I know we usually go with our picks, but I didn't know whether this pick was actually going to be a point spread pick. Is it going to be a pick of how many points we think Southern can score? I like to see how many points we think Southern can score instead of more of a point spread. We know it's going to be 50 or something like that, but do you think, I'll ask you a question, do you think Southern can get 17 points?
No.
Over and under?
No, under.
Under.
So you say, what about 0? Can they score?
I think they can score. I thought when you said what you said, I thought 0, but I'm like, no, they're going to get some points late in the game. I think Southern might get.
What about Willie Quinn?
Here's the problem: is people got a block for Willie Quinn. Willie Quinn might have. You know what? I will say this much: I don't think Willie Quinn. It doesn't look ugly for him. I'm not saying he's going to score a touchdown or take it to the house, but I do think Willie Quinn is going to show what he can do. I think he's a legit talent. I think he's a guy with actually, more watch him, he actually has a shot to go to the next level. So no, Willie Quinn doesn't look bad, but the rest of that, I think it's going to be brutal. I think Southern, I don't think they get in the double figures.
But you know what I thought was interesting, and Coach brought this up, and I kind of want to touch on it for a moment because I actually saw it in the paper today. Coach Odom said that he wished that, he was saying if our team can make it back in one piece, but he was joking, but it kind of alludes to what Perry was saying about, playing the top-notch competition or whatever. Do you want to, I think that is concerning Coach Odom. He said we're going to go at him full force, and hopefully we can all come back in one piece and I can come back with all of my players. But he joked, but I think he was sending a shot. What you think about that, Coach?
Absolutely. So for the level that the Southern University Jaguars play on, they have a tremendously explosive offense with Austin Howard, with Lenard Tillery, with Willie Quinn, Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Who?
Yeah. So they really have a very explosive offense for their level. However, this $650,000 that they're going to get today for being slaughter for the Georgia Bulldogs may prohibit some of that offense in the future. And that's what Coach Odom is speaking to.
Well, no, you're absolutely right, Perry. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Oh, I was gonna say no. You're absolutely right. And look, I mean, this is all Southern. Look, they're gonna get a little exposure. That's nice. But they're gonna get to face the big boys in a big scene to get to see how they measure up against Nick Chubb. But just look at the roster and you look at the size and dimensions. This really can be a rough game. But Southern is a smaller school, and a lot of smaller schools that got to get that payday for their budget. And Coach Odom's probably given the option to decline this game. He thought for a second. He thought for a second.
What you think, Coach Odom said?
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Oh, okay.
So they hopped the plane and went to Athens. But
Big Perm, I mean, I have mixed feelings about this. I'm not gonna lie. In one sense, I can totally understand what they're saying about the level of competition or the recruiting or whatever, so have you, or the class or whatever. But at the same time, I look at it where it's not like, to me, it's like an 18-year-old playing an 18-year-old. It's like they're kids. Some may be more athletic or some may be a blue chipper, but he's not like you putting him in like grown men playing young men. You know what I'm saying? It's still.
No, but it's not
that's
just that though, Joker.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Go ahead and educate me though, because I just look at it as just better player. Like, hey, if I had to play a team in New York, they was 18, I'm 18. They just have better equipment, have better athletes, but we're still the same age. So that.
No.
But educate me, Coach.
If you just take a tour of the facility at right there in Baton Rouge, if you go down to LSU and look at their facilities, their weight room, the things that they have, it's a distinct advantage over schools like Southern University. Also watch how many times the LSU linemen will substitute.
That's right.
And the defensive linemen will substitute. So now you got fresh kids going up against kids that have been out there every down. And that makes a distinct difference. Not only are you bigger, stronger, and faster, but now you're more rested than me.
Okay. I get it.
So that leads to being prone for injury. It's like a single A school playing a 5A school on the high school level. When that occurs, very few exceptions where that single A school is is able to compete for the whole game. They might compete for the first quarter, maybe the second quarter, but then attrition starts to happen on the energy level, and eventually that 5A school generally wins out if it's a halfway decent program.
The Appalachian states and Buffalo universities of the world are very, very few and far between, and that's why they make news, because they're few and far between. No, I hear you, and honestly, when you brought that up a couple of weeks ago, I kind of changed my perspective on it a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
I'm assuming all of us have Georgia. Let's go, because you're right. There's not much to talk about as far as who's going to win.
Right.
Let's do an over under of 10 points. I think that's probably closer. I'm going under.
I'm going over 10. I'm going to say over 10.
Okay.
I'll say over 10.
This will be interesting. So Perry's got them over 10. Joker has them over 10. I have them under 10. That's going to be interesting. And I actually am curious to see, and I hope Willie Quinn busts one just for the sake of it. For what it is worth, there are a lot of Southern University graduates in the Atlanta area. At least it'll be an opportunity for them to see their team. So I think there are a few positives, plus the exposure that will come out of it. But you're right. On the field, it's going to be physically tough.
And they get a chance to see the band.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's going to be good. And, those folks in Georgia, they know what time it is, man. They know what time it is. And I'm talking even the people in the SEC. They know they're in for a treat.
They know we're going to win that one.
Shoot, exactly.
Win that battle.
I'm going to go. I told you so. I'm going to pick Southern's band over Georgia's band at halftime. Shoot. Ding.
Yeah. That's about the same advantage, huh? Maybe they'll start complaining.
Exactly.
We don't need to be playing those,
We ain't got no drum majors that can do all that twisting and dancing and gyrating.
Right. Not fair. You see the facility they got down there?
You see all the talent they got?
Right.
On the other side of town, and actually on the other side of the country, the LSU Tigers began playing Syracuse at the top of the hour. Leonard Fournette's already scored a touchdown for 14 yards out. I'll tell you that, granted, I have an advantage. We all have an advantage because the game started. I'm still picking LSU. I'm picking LSU plus the 7 points they've already scored that we don't know about yet. I think they're going to win this game very big today. Leonard Fournette is already playing grown man football up there in the Carrier Dome, as I think LSU throttles their Power 5 conference opponent for this year.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going with LSU on this game. And to me, the story is not about who we think is going to win. The story is like what Coach brought this up, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes. We don't have long before we get to NFL and Major League Baseball. But Coach brought up about the dynamic now in the SEC with Alabama and Ole Miss now. The changing of the guard seems to be just for this year with Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is probably going to end up being. This is my prediction. Ole Miss is getting ready to be number one. Ohio State is going to lose to Michigan State. Ole Miss is going to vault to number one.
Wow.
I think Coach thinks Alabama is going to beat LSU, which is going to give LSU a loss. It's only going to be like the conundrum last year, the way Ole Miss beat Alabama, but LSU beat Ole Miss last year. So he thinks this year Ole Miss is going to beat Alabama is going to beat LSU, and it's going to beat the Cardinals, and it's going to come down basically, I guess, to Ole Miss.
That three-way tie process.
Right,
yeah, I got you.
This is what I think. I think LSU is going to beat Alabama this year. I think LSU is going to beat Alabama this year, and it's going to come down between Ole Miss and LSU. And even if LSU loses to Ole Miss, they still won't. They can still get in the top 4 because they only have one loss. But with Ole Miss, they have been beat Alabama and the rest of the teams. Alabama has a potential to lose 3 games. I just found out they have to go to Georgia and play Georgia, so that could be a potential 3-loss season for Nick Saban. So that's pretty much the most intriguing thing with me in the SEC this year.
Ryan, you got...
Eric, Joker's got my perception almost right.
Okay.
I do think that when Alabama goes to Georgia, that they won't be victorious, which will knock them out of that top seed. It's really tough for me to see Nick Saban lose 2 at home in a single season. And let me say that as well as Ole Miss played last week, if there would have been 4 turnovers instead of 5, they lose.
No, it was a look. I mean, saying that but if Alabama would have lost, the fact that Ole Miss won it. The fact that Ole Miss went there and won is remarkable. You are correct. That was a game that hung on some very tiny threads. But when you come out of Alabama with a win, you don't look at the box score. You know what I'm saying? You look at that scoreboard. But you're right. I'm really impressed with that quarterback, Chad Kelly. His performance, and of course Laquan Treadwell's as always, that was eye-opening, and I think he's going to be the difference maker for the University of Mississippi this year. He gives them a legit gunslinger, a legit signal caller under center. He's kin to Jim Kelly. Those genes must flow down because I was really impressed with the way he managed that game. Alabama's weakness, and the reason I think Joker's being a little purple and gold glasses with LSU, and coming from me, that's saying a lot, only because, but with Jake Coker at Alabama, I don't know if they're going to have any kind of a passing game, so it's possible.
That's what I said. I said Alabama kind of has a quarterback problem. I think that's
big quarterback problem.
They got a great defense and great running game as usual, but they don't have the McElroy or they don't have the A.J. McCarron type of guy that you can kind of Nick Saban can count on to not turn it over.
Or even Blake Sims, really, from last year. I mean,
so
they
that's
took
where
a
I
step
think
down.
they're going to fall a little short.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Because like you said, all this stuff comes down to, one play, one penalty, it's so, it can turn so fast. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how we did last week, seeing how it went. As there was a lot said, and some of us were right, and some of us were wrong, and that is going to bring us up to our what's one of my favorite segments, and I think a lot of the audience's favorite segments of the show. I told you so. Hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
That's right. And speaking of good days, it's going to be a good day on that yard today up at Southern, man. It's going to be a big game today. We got J-State coming in town. They're tailgating and getting ready. So, hey, let's get to it.
I'm with you, Coach. I like the Jaguars in this game.
I have confidence, and I think they're going to win. I'm picking Southern.
Coach, you pick. I think I heard you say it, but just for the crowd again, who is your pick in this game?
Southern University.
That's what I figured. And on the other side of town, rolling quickly, moving swiftly in the hoopty ride. Gotta get my 8 ball on. It might be that was the line from the hip hop song "Armed Robbery," and that could be what it is today. As Auburn's going to come to Tiger Stadium to Death Valley. I like LSU very handily in this game today.
Yeah!
I think LSU makes a statement this week and gets rid of this and blows his team out.
The difference is this: that man number 7.
But so we got all 3 of us are going with LSU.
Yeah.
Right? Another big game is Ole Miss and Alabama.
Dun, 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 dun,
Wish I had the music to go with it, man. It'll be so going with it.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Alabama, but I'll tell you what. I think anything can happen.
I'm going with Ole Miss. I am going with Ole Miss again.
Oh, sakes alive, Joker. Coach Perry Daniels, what do you have in this fine gentlemanly rivalry?
Nick Saban.
No.
Have Hard Knocks. That offensive line in Tampa Bay is made out of Swiss cheese. He's going to have some tough times, but they're going to come to the Superdome. I think Winston won't feel as much pressure. I don't think the Saints are doing as good of a job getting pressure on the quarterback, so I don't think Winston will look as mistake-prone. But I don't think Tampa Bay's defense, they're not even in the same zip code as Arizona's. I think Drew Brees will have a field day. The Saints might even run up 40, certainly 30. I expect the Saints to win tomorrow.
And they may lose this game today. I'm going to pick them just on the strength of Tampa Bay is just that bad. What we got, Coach?
Well, I think just as bad as the Saints looked last week, they're going to look just as good this week.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to look really good against Tampa Bay. Is just what they need.
But, with Seattle and Green Bay, Sunday Night Football, I believe that I'm going to go Green Bay because one, they're playing in Lambeau Field, and Cam Chancellor is still absent from that defense, and they're gonna.
Yes, I have Green Bay as well, which will make.
So, yes, and that's why I picked Seattle.
So, yeah, Tampa Bay was not what they needed.
Man.
Coming up in about 3 minutes, we have
Noel Jackson
with Music Satisfaction here on 96.9 FM, WHYLP, Baton Rouge Community Radio.
Look, ain't but a couple of minutes left.
Saints are looking raw.
Ain't nothing to talk about.
Rough, man. They got Carolina coming up. Drew Brees will not play. Man. Luke McCown will make his first start as a Saint.
You know what the Saints need? Isn't the Pope here? Isn't he here?
Yeah. You know what, though, man? It is a brilliant move on Mickey Loomis's part. He is setting himself up to get the #1 draft pick, and that will be the running back number 7, that man.
Come on. Wow. What about Drew Brees' replacement?
Yeah.
What about Drew Brees' replacement?
I'm not ready to replace Drew Brees at all. I look, once I didn't realize I was in the Superdome. When you see some things on TV you don't see in the stands, I didn't realize he was hurt. I did notice the passes were kind of wobbly. I'm really not concerned about him if he's healthy. Not yet. Not this year, next year. But I am concerned about everything else. The same old things we've been talking about. The shoddy tackling, poor route running, drop passes. And now with Brees hurt, the Saints they're going into a war with no cannon.
He has no one.
Who
does Brees have to throw a real playmaker?
Marcus Colston, but that's about it.
Colston, come on, come on, man. You know what I mean? How can you talk about competing in something that you really have no playmakers? You let go Sproles, you let go Jimmy Graham. You got this young kid, but he's not big. He's a possession receiver, makes a play here and there, but he's not a game breaker. He's not Dez Bryant. He's not nobody to go out and really. And Colston in possession, first down receiver. He's not nothing, so they're in trouble. I said early in the year, after one game, I said here on Louisiana All American Sports, they will not make the playoffs. The Saints are maybe a 6-10 team at best.
Let me say this little. I said I thought they'd be 9-7, but I also said I thought they'd start off 1-4, but the one win I thought would be against the Buccaneers, and start off 2-5. I think their schedule's front loaded, and with Drew Brees being hurt, I still think this team can go 8-8, but I don't think 8-8 is going to get them into the playoffs. So I do think they missed the playoffs. I think when Brees is healthy, I think it's only been 2 games we're really selling him short when he's healthy, but I think the Panthers are going to win tomorrow, just for the record.
Panthers.
Coach? Coach? Oh, we lost Coach. But Coach said Mickey Loomis was setting up to get that top pick. I'll tell you what, the rate they're going, they might be on the clock in 2017 when...
Oh, no, hold on, Eric. I was trying to channel Joker with Cam.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Cam.
30 seconds. 30 seconds, gentlemen.
Yes, indeed, man. Man, I just want to say shouts out to my mama, Gwen. I know she's listening, and to everybody else. And McKinley had a homecoming parade today. Want to give shouts out to those guys out there and everybody, all the other listeners.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Coach Valdez, for joining us. Good luck to you the rest of the season. ADT, JNS, love you.
Have a good afternoon.
Hail to the king and lots of love. Hail to the king
Lord, from the eagle, hail to the king, Lords of life.